Hello everyone, it's Amanda. How are you doing? I am finding this video so difficult to make. Wow. And I don't know whether that's because September is going to be difficult. I don't think so. I actually think I'm being thrown an awful lot of information by Metatron. And it's like, where do we start? Where do we start? So I am not going to start where I have tried to start the last few attempts at this video. Okay, let's just put that to one side, Metatron. And I'm just going to tell you a few things that, other things that may not be linked at all, but are just like flashes that he's given me. Okay, so first flash coming in, piece of information. Close my eyes and I asked Metatron about September. Show me September's energy. And he showed me pieces of paper falling from the sky. Hundreds and hundreds of pieces of paper falling from the sky. Now, what I believe is when you're given an image by spirit, you shouldn't then try and overanalyze it because you can make mistakes. Having said that, I did then get I got feelings in terms of what that image may have been about. Some may be spot on, some may not be so spot on, but I'm just going to say them anyway. Start of a month and then it's out there. So the pieces of paper falling from the sky. The first thing I felt was it isn't just pieces of paper falling from the sky, it's also ash falling from the sky. Got a strong feeling of volcanic activity and eruption that leads to ash in the sky. Okay? So that's just one message. Aeroplane going over my house as I say that. There was an occurrence, wasn't there, where, was it a volcano in Iceland or somewhere like that, blew a couple of years ago and the planes weren't able to fly. I'm not seeing it as being quite as destructive as that, but I am just feeling volcanic activity for September, okay, and ash. That's the first interpretation of the paper falling from the sky that he's giving me. The other one that I'm getting a very, very strong pull on is, I was almost seeing it as like money notes falling from the sky. Now, sadly not, probably, open your front door now and you're going to be showered with dollar or pound or euro bills, whatever your currency is. Actually, there's a more serious message here because I'm hearing the words bank run. And that is not to put the fear of God into everybody, because September's energy is very much going to be about keep calm and carry on. And at this moment, I have to just show you something. Wait a minute. Oh, ow. Ah, God. Oh, where else do you get videos like this where you got people falling over? Oh, God. Come on, Amanda. In a way, it's perfect for what I'm just showing you. Keep calm and leave it to Metatron. This was a birthday card that Tracy did for me, but actually I'm wanting to put the message up. Keep calm and leave it to Metatron. Because there are going to be some events that occur in September and we must not go into panic. So bank run. This may well be linked into Deutsche Bank. Okay, there's a lot of speculation about Deutsche Bank. To be honest, it hasn't even been on my radar up until a few days ago. There are other readers out there and obviously journalists out there who've been talking about Deutsche Bank for quite a long time. Those of you that don't know the story, and I don't know the ins and outs of it either, it seems to be that there's maybe a money laundering aspect that's gone on there, and there is a lot of truths that are going to come out with regard to the activities within Deutsche Bank. But I'm getting a very strong link back to London, okay? So it feels as though, to be honest, everything is connected. It feels as though the banking system is coming, literally, as we know, things are coming up to be looked at, to be healed, and it's a lot of dirt is coming up. We're seeing that with all the scandals with regard to people, Hollywood, Epstein, all the rest of it. But now the next layer to come up, and it is a bit relentless. It's like we haven't even got over the first wave. There's another wave now coming. Seems to link into banking. So I'm picking up Deutsche Bank, but it also, I'm seeing the trails going to London. I don't know how that's going to play out, but I'm just being given it. I was also reminded of that scene in the film Mary Poppins. I don't know if you know the film Mary Poppins, where there is a run on the bank in that film. And I was also given a song. And the song is, the lyrics, sorry, I've written them down here. Catch a falling star and put it in your pocket, never let it fade away. Catch a falling star and put it in your pocket, save it for a rainy day. So I think, okay, thank you, Metatron. What he's saying to me is whatever transpires with regard to the financial system, which is going to come up for, well, that's a really weird I don't even understand the word. He's saying deregulation. Well, obviously banks have to be regulated. They have to abide by laws. But I can only assume that the laws that they're abiding by haven't been working, or there's been too many holes in them, so people have been exploiting it for ill intent. So it feels as though there is some sort of, he's showing me unknotting of the old system to then rebind it in a new way, whereby better ethics come into play. Of course, this is not all going to happen in September. September feels as though it is the start of it, okay? It's the start of it. I have to say, I'm sitting here in the UK, and I was going to say with a growing sense of panic, but I don't feel any panic. That's the whole point. That's what I'm really trying to say by this video. Because if you open up the newspapers in the UK at the moment and you choose to go down that rabbit hole, you know, you are told that we are coming into times of huge chaos, and there's a lot of fear out there. You know, Parliament is going to be suspended. We're probably going to be crashing out with no deal with regard to Brexit. And it's like everyone's like, oh my God, what's going to happen? I'm not feeling that at all. In fact, do you know what I'm feeling? And I think this is a light worker thing. It's almost as though the more extreme the events seem to be that come in, it's almost as though at 5D we are given a space which is very, what Metatron is calling neutral. It's a neutral zone that you go into, so that you can actually hold the peace whilst other people are flapping around. We're back to keep calm and leave it to Metatron, but equally Metatron is saying keep calm and leave it to your higher self, okay? Your higher self, your ascended self. The side that the side of you that knows that whatever happens in our world, we will be okay. And it isn't just about blind faith and trust. It's a deep knowing that what is happening now in our world is meant to happen, has to happen to bring about the change to the new earth. So any institution that has got corruption within it, or wrongdoing, or, you know, the list is endless, but they are going to come, he's shown me like a great big spin wash, okay? It's like a great big spin wash coming in. And I feel as though the last quarter of this year, come September and beyond, it's as though, you know, when the washing machine goes crazy and it goes on to like a really fast spin, that's what I'm being shown. It's like a really fast spin. And, you know, the machine starts to rock and you think, oh God, I've put too many towels in or something. Well, no, the machine is able to cope. What is the machine? The machine is the universe. Who is the operator of the machine? The operator is God. God is putting things into a fast spin cycle to effectively get out the stains and the dirt in a number of different institutions, and it feels as though the spotlight is going to be on the financial system through September. Certainly we're going to start to hear more and more of it. As I say, hadn't been on my radar at all in terms of Deutsche Bank. That's not because I'm ignorant, it's because Metatron tends to present me things on a need-to-know basis, okay? Because otherwise it's overwhelming. It's like, where do you start? You can look at virtually every aspect of the world that needs a bit of a wash. So he shows me things on a need-to-know basis. So I think those pieces of paper falling from the sky, I think it links into all of that. The other thing, before I move off that subject and get into the rest of the reading, is this is again my interpretation, but I'm also trusting my own higher self and my ability to be able to interpret what I'm given. I also, when I saw the pieces of paper falling from the sky, Are you with me? Some of you have already got it. I was seeing the Twin Towers when they came down on the 9/11 or 11/9. We say it differently in different parts of the world. The pieces of paper that were falling out of the towers as they fell down, I think it's also linked to that. Again, I'm not particularly optimistic that the truth is completely going to come out in September, but maybe there is just what he's showing me is the door starts to become a little bit more open so that the truth eventually can come out. That is what I'm being shown. I'm basically being shown the door being almost like not wedged open, a crowbar. You know, a crowbar when you try to really get something open that's really stuck, and the crowbar just goes in and it's like, oh, you know, we're going to open this, whether it wants to open or not. And then you get the glimmer of light coming through the doors. And then suddenly it's like, whoa, it's just there, it's out in the open, and it's like the truth. But this is about so much. It's not just about the Twin Towers. It's not just about Deutsche Bank. It's about the he's saying it's about the unraveling of the old world to reveal the new. Well, okay. So, fated moments for our world. Okay, I also want to say, even though it's fated moments, there's still a part of me that is concerned about, are enough people going to care? There's still so much apathy out there amongst the wider collective, and we have to really believe in the 100 monkey syndrome, okay, which is that if enough people get it, the whole group gets it. So as light workers, we're just going to have to really shine brightly in September and really stand in our truth. And more than that, really know that this new earth is coming. And it's almost like anything. It's like you've got to taste it. You've got to be able to smell it. You've got to be able to feel it. You've got to really be able to visualize it. And the problem at the moment in a lot of, particularly social media, a lot of the stuff that seems to come in front of me, particularly with regard to YouTube, is that so many people are stuck on just putting their energy into the crumbling old 3D world. And it's as though we get obsessed with that story. We want all the gore, you know, we want all the dirt. And yes, it's human nature to want to understand what has gone on. And indeed, looking at the shadow, whether it's in ourself or in the world, necessitates us taking a good hard look at it. But it's a very thin line between doing that and then putting all your energy into it. Because when you put your energy into something, you keep it alive. So as light workers, we've really got to start to actually, it's interesting with the glasses, that I'm wearing glasses today because my eyes feel tired. It's almost as though we're tired of looking in the same old place. It's time now to put our eyes onto a different horizon that a lot of people cannot see at the moment. They don't even know it's there. But we do, even though it may be a bit of what Metatron is saying, it almost feels like a mirage some days. You know, it's like, is it there? Isn't it there? Is it a land that really exists, or isn't it a land that really exists? I'm talking about New Earth. And he's saying, yes, it does. But to bring it clearer into view, enough people need to believe in the reality of it, okay? So become aware. You're not going to be able to get away from it. You're going to be aware of what's going on in the world and what's falling, but have your eye on the goal, okay? Have your eye on where we're wanting to go to. What are the sort of qualities that we want the new world to be? What are the sort of energies that we want to be at play there? How are we imagining people will behave to each other? How does the animal kingdom fit into it? Okay, and by that I mean include the animal kingdom. Don't just think about it from a human perspective. Think about the elements too. You know, it sounds stupid, but not really from a British person, because we talk about the weather all the time. What will the weather be like in New Earth? Okay, I'm being serious, because again, at the moment, all the attention is on, oh gosh, you know, there's another tornado coming, there's this happening, oh dear, you know. And yes, it is a reality and it does need to be looked at. But to dream in the new, what would Eden look like if Eden came back now? Okay. Right, well, I don't know where all that came from. Well, I do. It came from Metatron. It wasn't what I thought I was going to say at all. So I'm going to now change tack. I'm going to put this away because those were the messages that just came in before I sat down to do this reading. Let's now have a look at September. Right. Next message. Next message. I said it was, you know, there were lots of different things to talk about today. The next message I want to talk about is money. Well, I know I've just talked about money, but this is bringing it down to your personal level. I know a few of you have mentioned it already, but I was already picking it up because I tried to do this reading a few days ago and money was coming out as an energy to talk about in terms of you, not Deutsche Bank, anything like that, you. So what we've got is the prison waif, okay, the prison waif. And it says self-sabotage and poverty consciousness. And you might look at that and think, oh no, you know, we've talked about poverty consciousness before. I've worked on that. I'm now fully in an abundant energy and mindset. Or you might look at that and think, yeah, that's exactly where I am, but I don't want to admit it. It doesn't matter where you are. I'm actually being shown a wheel that's coming round. And the wheel is coming round because we haven't fully grasped what abundance consciousness is. And so, I can't get away from money with this reading. Money is coming back for us to look at in our personal lives as well. And even if you think, as I say, no, I've dealt with that. You don't need to talk to me, Amanda, about flow and needing to be in flow and needing to trust and needing to let go of poverty consciousness. I know all that. I still say to you, there seems to be something coming back round for us to have another look at it. If you really truly feel you've mastered it and you don't go into poverty consciousness, brilliant. Maybe now there is some work for you to do at the collective level, you know, to help shift the imbalance of money on our planet. But I think probably more likely this is a message more for the individuals, which is there's something going on with money. So let's pull a couple of tarot cards linked into just money at this point, okay? Because who wants to be the prison waif? I mean, you know, who wants to be that? I don't want to be that. I'm sure you don't want to be that. You know, she's imprisoned there by her own worries, which may be real, but what is reality at the end of the day? And I say that because I was walking around our town centre the other day and there seems to be this new trend for these, I don't know, there's a couple of shops where I'm just so not into this. I'm so not into video games. I'm sorry, it probably makes me sound terribly old and all the rest of it, but I've never been into them, even when I was younger. And, you know, virtual reality arcades, basically. So it was a beautiful, bright, sunny day. I live by the sea. I had to pop into Bournemouth to get a few bits. Went into this arcade and there was like this really dark, gloomy looking shop you could go into where you could put on your, you know, whatever they put on, you know, and they're in a different reality world. And I looked at it, I thought, God, how bloody awful is that? You know, just go out and sit on the beach. But you know, some people like that. Brilliant. It's their reality. There are many different versions of reality. I'll tell you another funny one. I mean, some of you will know this. The younger ones are going to know this. But I didn't realise that this went on. So my daughter came back from a festival last weekend. And she said, oh, yeah. She said, oh, the silent disco was great, Mum. And I said, well, what's a silent disco? And do you know what a silent disco is? Basically, they all put headphones on. And they dance and they're all listening to the same track, but they can't hear, there isn't music, there is no music. It's only in their speakers. I could not get my head around it. I was like, what? She said, yeah, it's great, you know. And I thought, well, yeah, it probably is great. Brilliant. I'm not judging it. Fantastic. Maybe I should have a go at it. I'm just trying to say there are all these different realities and there are all these different dimensions. And we know that, don't we? We know that. We talk about 3D, 4D, 5D, 7D. But yet it seems with money, money still seems very stuck in 3D. At the collective level, and even those that have really worked on money issues, we still can fall back into being the prison waif. forgetting that all she actually has to do is get herself out of that barred window, which she can do because she's slim enough and she's got wings to fly out. Right, let's have a look at money, Metatron. What's the message on money for people? He's saying I should try the silent disco sometime. Okay, yeah, because in some ways September is also a month to sort of like get out of your comfort zone and try something different. There's a card that's just fallen out there. Okay, that's interesting. It's the 9 of Wands, but it came upside down. So the 9 of Wands is usually a card whereby, you know, you're nearly there. You're nearly there. You've nearly achieved it. Whether it's a goal, a project, funding. I know a few people who are trying to get funding for projects at the moment. You know, you're nearly there. Keep on going. But it's upside down. So there is this feeling that, I'm not sure. I've done an awful lot of work, but are we really going to get out there? The thing that's quite interesting to me is that even when this card is upside down, can you see it's got all these little green shoots, which should be on the top of the wands, okay, signifying new growth and all the rest of it. Well, the thing is, if you reverse the wands and they're on the bottom of the wands, that's roots, okay? It might not be growth that you can see around you, but it is roots that can go down and plant rich seeds for the future. But anyway, at the moment, there is this feeling that the project, whatever it is that requires money, it's just too difficult. I'm also picking up housing here as well. I'm definitely picking up people that are finding they just can't get their foot on the ladder or they can't move. I don't know. So what else goes with that? Money. This is just literally about money at this stage. Money. 4 of Wands. Feeling completely worn out with money. But I also think that's the old monetary system is worn out and needing an extended rest or to be put into a permanent incubation. Metatron's showing me, you know, these people that want to sort of freeze themselves so that, I die, but then I freeze my body and then in 1,000 years' time, people, defrost me and it's like, cool, this is the specimen from 2019, how interesting. And it would be horrendous actually, because they'd be like poking you, like gosh, this is what they used to look like, and oh right, that's what they wore. So this is like the financial institutions being put into a permanent state of freezing for future generations to look at and almost be sort of like, crikey, they used to do it that way. They used to expect that. There used to be that much corruption. It used to be that hard for people to earn a decent wage. They didn't understand teamwork. You know, this card is upside down. They didn't understand teamwork and trying to create something for the greater good. It was all just about, me, myself and I. Wow, let's really, that's the energy I'm picking up here. The thing is, even though I'm talking collectively, we all are affected by the collective energy linked to money. So I do feel I'm seeing a topsy-turvy boat that we're all in. We're all going to be a little bit rocked, but it's fine. We can. The only reason I'm talking about this is when you become aware of it as an energy that's out there, you can then get your oars out and steer the boat smoothly. You don't have to be affected by any of this, okay? Let's just see what we're dealing with. Let's have 2 more cards linked into money, Metatron, September. 2 more cards for money. Judgment. And then on the top of the deck, that is the 6 of Pentacles. Wow. And on the bottom of the deck, the Page of Pentacles. And then I'll also take the next card, which is the Chariot. Okay, I can't get away from a message about money for September. The personal and the collective message is just completely merged at the moment. I'm finding it hard to split it out. and this is a lesson that we all need to learn. We all need to learn it, which is that the collective is the personal and the personal is the collective. And until the collective cleans up, then you are going to be affected unless you adopt certain principles and energy. We'll talk about those in a moment. But what we're dealing with is basically what I've already said. And then we have judgment coming in. This is God's judgment on the rotten financial system that has not given to the poor. This is somebody who's giving to the poor. But the thing is, I'm feeling it hasn't been happening. It hasn't been happening. And judgment is going to force it to come in. So there is a more equal distribution of wealth. What then follows that is the Page of Pentacles, which is the opportunity for a better way forward with regard to money. But it's slow. It's slow at first, and then it changes, and then you have the Chariot. It feels like there's a whole new way to look at money, approach money, deal with money, but I feel it's going to be forced. It's like we can't do it ourselves. Okay, let's take that down now to a personal level. If you've been struggling with money, I want to say this card here, you almost need to give yourself a break from worrying about it. Because worrying about it is only going to make it worse. You are actually being asked to embrace a completely new way of organising and negotiating your material world. What do I mean by that? Accept the help from other people. Sometimes poverty consciousness, not always, sometimes poverty consciousness can be to do with not accepting the help. I'll give you a current example. I don't think she'd mind me saying. I know she wouldn't mind me saying. So it's my mum again. But we're about to move her into one of these warden assisted homes, probably within the next, I don't know, 3-4 months. It's one of the reasons I haven't done any travelling this year, really, because I've got things in my personal life to sort out. So I need to sort my mum out. And she is completely in poverty consciousness, bless her. She always has been. And she's so worried that she's not going to have enough money to go into this home. And she has got enough money, but what would happen in, 5 years' time? What's going to happen in 10 years' time? And I said to her, till I'm blue in the face, don't worry. We will make sure you are okay. We're not going to have you out on the street. We'll look. We will step in when we need to step in. We'll step in. Don't worry about it. She's still worrying about it. She's not able to she's not able to trust that the money will come when it needs to come, even though she's been told. Now you might think, oh, why is she doing that? Think of yourself. How many times have people said to you, it will be okay, but you don't truly believe it will be okay? And by truly not believing it will be okay, it makes it worse. What guidance can we have, please, Metatron, for... Which deck do I go to? This one. Let's have a guidance card for people who are struggling with money. And equally, don't think this message is just for people who haven't got anything. This might be a message for those of you that have got money, but maybe you are being asked to go to the next level. Take your project, take your business, travel, whatever it is, do it to the next level. And even though you've got money, there's part of you that's thinking, not sure. We've got the card which is the Daughter Spirit. ask for Spirit's help. Do you truly believe that we live in an abundant universe? 32 is an energy that links to you have something valid to say it, speak up. I was picking up the energy of the dodecahedron earlier. The dodecahedron is linked into the throat chakra. It's a sacred geometric shape. And I do think that these are times whereby we are being asked to pull together, help each other out, support each other, but equally needing to ask for help. You know, if you look at that card there, look at this beggar, you know, and that they're accepting the coin, but they're doing so from a very sort of like, almost like, I can't look you in the eye. I can't look you in the eye and accept your help. There's nothing wrong with accepting help from somebody. It should be, you should be able to do that so that the person who gives feels good at being able to help, but the person who receives is able to look that person in the eye and say thank you. It's the ultimate expression of give and receive in equal balance, okay? I'm not saying give, you know, with nothing coming back the other way. It has to be a balanced relationship. But this is where we're trying to get to as a world. New Earth wants to be a place of equal give and receive. New Earth wants to be a place where we are abundant. We don't have people who are in rags where other people are in finest silks. How are we ever going to get to that unless we can really believe it's possible? And so to really believe it's possible, we're going to be tested. And we're going to be tested by what's happening out in the wider world. You know, I talked about a potential bank run or something like that. And you'll be watching other people potentially doing this and think, but don't go into that behaviour, because that's all 3D behaviour. This might be a bit of a tough message to hear, and it might be a message that's really easily able to be attacked and misunderstood. I get that, but I'm still going to put it out. Because I think how can we get out of this, being the prison waif, and having that in our collective consciousness, and that may be affecting us at an individual level, unless we're brave enough to talk about money, our fears around money, as well as our belief in money. But what Metatron's saying is to me, the problem is people don't believe in money because what they're being asked to believe in, money, has been corrupted over, he's shown me blood money. He's saying it's blood money. I haven't got any money on my desk, but if I did have, it's as though it's tainted. He's bringing up the big stuff in this reading. You know, it's linked into stuff that we cannot see, that has been going on for thousands of years, not thousands, maybe I don't know if it's been thousands of years, no, hundreds of years. Money laundering, how people get rich, he's saying, how some people have earned their money through very dodgy ways. And so therefore, at the moment, you're being asked to align with money, which energetically is like, ugh, why would I want to align to that? Do you know what we almost need to do as an exercise? I have got some money sitting here somewhere. Where has it gone? I've got some dollars over there. Let me just get a dollar. Hold on. When I last went to America, I kept some dollars because I knew I'd be going back. So I've got a $20 note here. I can feel almost on that note. I can almost feel the energy that needs to be cleansed. So it's something along the lines of, you just pick up a note in your purse or a coin You put it between your hands and you bless it. And you imprint it with the energy of New Earth, where money will be earned through positive, life-affirming, good ways. Where money isn't abused, where money isn't stolen, where people don't betray other people for money, where people don't sell out for money, where people don't prize money above God, where money is just simply something which is a means for us to be able to survive, for us to be able to live in comfort, for us to be able to share abundance, and put the energy of that into the note or the coin that you've got in your hands. And infuse it with as much New Earth energy as you can. And then go out and spend it. And why? Because by passing that note or that coin to the next person, the person that picks that up, they feel, they won't necessarily understand what you've done. It's like an energetic thing. That note goes to the next person, who then passes it to the next person. If that resonates, maybe do that. You know, I mean, that money smells. Sorry. That it's the smell of old money. Oh, the smell of old money. What's old money? A lot of old money is built on other people's pain, other people's sacrifice. I tell you what, guys, I mean, I honestly did not expect this reading for me to be talking like this. I didn't know what it was going to be, but I didn't think I was going to be talking like this. So maybe I'll just put this out as a separate video in its own right, just linked into money. I think I will, in fact, because I can't now go on and do another read along the lines of what I was going to. It's what Metatron wanted me to talk about today. I think it's coming through so strongly because we're about to hit some times where we are really going to have to reappraise our relationship with money. And so if you're finding, if it's already landed in your lap as a problem or a challenge or an opportunity, embrace it. Don't push it away. Don't go into fear. Don't go into panic. Try to see yourself in, I don't know, a week's time, a month's time, a year's time. Abundant, fertile in relation to money, happy with your relationship with money, able to do good with money, able to live a good life with money, able to pass on money to somebody else who may need it. So it's not about being rich, it's about, you know, it's that whole passage from the Bible, isn't it? It's easier for a rich man to pass through the eye of a, no, it's easier for a child to pass through the eye of a, no, it's easier for a rich man to pass, oh, you know the phrase, the rich man, the camel, the needle's eye, that one, I've talked about it before, I haven't got it to hand. It's the same message that keeps coming up. I will just get the message up, hold on. It's easier for a camel to enter into the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom. Right. It's easier for a camel to enter into the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom. What is the kingdom? What is the kingdom? The kingdom is New Earth. You know, the kingdom is New Earth. I think increasingly over, I mean, this isn't going to all happen in September, guys. This is going to be decades of work probably ahead. But we are going to be asked to simplify, to want less, to be happy with less. I said that about a year ago in a video. Can't remember which video it was. I was same sort of message, not quite as strong as it's come through today, about needing to be happy with less, and it triggered people like hell. I hope it doesn't trigger you today. It was along the lines of, oh, I've worked all my life and you're now telling me to give it all away. No, that's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying sometimes we don't need as much as we think we need. We don't. Look at the kids. Look at some of these kids. It's easy to attack young people. You know, that, oh, they want this and they want that. But a lot of these, you know, very special crystal kids, you know, they don't want a lot, actually. I've got one in my home. I know exactly what I'm talking about. If you say to her, what do you want for your birthday? She might put 2 things down on the list. And it won't be extravagant. Last Christmas, I think she wanted a scarf, a pair of gloves, a book. Okay? We've all been programmed to want more and more and more and more. Do we need more? No. So our relationship with this is going to have to change. Prizing this above everything else. Look at society. Society still puts this above God. In most places, this is put above God, and even in God's house, this is put above God. And I'm talking about the Catholic Church there. Hey, I told you I wasn't going to pull any punches when I came back from a holiday. It has to change. And it will change. But what we know is it starts with us. You don't see the bigger change until it all starts with us. So let's go back to us, our relationship with money. Look at it. Truly look at your relationship with money. Are you holding on for dear life in case somebody gets it? Are you going to be joining the ranks of the people who are panicking like hell, you know, if some financial event happens? No, I'm not. Do you know, I remember, I don't know, a year or so ago, it was when there was a fuel shortage in this country, and I could not believe the way that people behaved. I couldn't believe it. I was driving home. I was driving home from town, and I went past a fuel station, and I think I did need to fill up. I think I needed to fill up with fuel. You know, I was on like, I don't know, 10, 15 miles. So I would have gone and bought fuel within the next few days. But there were people queuing, road rage, trying to fill up their cars, fights. I'm not really exaggerating, it was awful. About 20 minutes after they said there was going to be a fuel strike, most of those people, a lot of those people, did not need to fill up their car at that precise moment. There wouldn't have been any panic, and the tanks wouldn't have run dry if people had just filled up when they needed to fill up, i.e. I've got 5 miles left, I need to fill up now. And I live in an area where there's a lot of retired people. It's not people who are having to use their car to go to work, you know, and put bread on the table to feed their kids. I get that. I understand if you needed to fill it up for that purpose. No, these are people, a lot of them, I could see them doing it. They just were doing it because they didn't want their joy rides, you know, interrupted. I'm sort of exaggerating the point, but I'm trying to make a point here. It's the same when, I mean, it will happen with Brexit. I know it will. You know, it's sort of, if we crash out with no deal. I've seen the way people behave in this country when there is the slightest risk of any disruption to the supply. You know, even like bank holiday. And the shelves become bare. People go absolutely nuts. Whereas people, if people just did what Metatron is saying, keep calm and carry on as usual, there wouldn't be the mad scramble and panic. You have to stay in alignment with New Earth that is coming in, your own higher self, and you have to trust. God is not going to, God's not going to leave you without. So There's a spray over here that I wondered whether to mention. Well, yeah, I'm going to mention it because it's the Lilac Light for guidance and insight. It's this one. It's a lovely colour. I was actually considering discontinuing it, to be honest, because not a lot of people buy it. And then a few people did start to buy it again. I was like, oh, okay, maybe not. And I thought, why aren't people getting this spray? And if you read the channeled words for this spray, I haven't got it to hand, so I can't read the channeled words out. You can go onto the website, my website, you can just click on the shop. You don't have to buy the spray, you can just read the channeled words. They came through a few years ago. But this is very much about putting you back in touch with your higher self. Your higher self isn't panicking. This is the truth. Your higher self isn't panicking. There is very, very few moments in life, if ever, that your higher self panics and freaks out, okay? In fact, what I've noticed in my life is when it's got very turbulent and difficult, I have tended to find that inner peace. It's like when people, you've probably heard of this yourself, you know, maybe people who are diagnosed with like terminal illness or something like that, and you look at them and you think, oh my God, if that was me, I'd be so worried and I'd be panicking. They don't. Most of the time they go into this beautiful inner stillness. And it's because they're completely and utterly linked into their higher self. And their higher self is at peace. The higher self knows they're going to be okay. Even death, they're going to be okay. Death is just another doorway to another dimension. And so much of the panic, particularly when you talk about money, it's linked into base chakra issues. It's to do with, I'm not safe. I'm going to starve. You take that down to an absolutely the deepest level you can. It's about, I'm going to die. We're not going to die because of the result of what I've been talking about here today with regard to all this financial mess that needs to be cleared up, is what I'm wanting to say. But we do have to link into our own higher self. So let's just spray the Lilac Light. And, you know, instantly Metatron's reminding me this is a very good colour for this month, because lilac is linked into balancing. It's balancing out, well, traditionally actually, lilac stroke violet is about balancing out. So, for example, the right hemisphere of the brain, the left hemisphere of the brain, the masculine, the feminine. What Metatron's saying to me here as well, and this is a completely new piece of information I've never thought of before, is it's balancing out flight and fight. Okay? So it's like that adrenal response. I'm seeing everybody else panic. I better join them, you know? They're all jumping off the cliff, so I better jump off the cliff as well because it's what everyone else is doing. No. Don't go into that. Don't go into the whole, you know, flight and fight thing, the adrenal response. Allow that to be balanced and go back into your higher self. Link into your soul. Link into your own energy, your I amness that knows you will be okay, because you will. Metatron is also saying it brings back balanced reasoning. Whilst around you, everybody else might be going nuts. Bring it on. If they're going to do that, they're going to do it. You don't have to do it. And I don't have to do it. We don't have to join that circus. What's that expression? Not my circus, not my monkeys? Something like that. That could always be the title for the video, okay? That's the energy I'm picking up here. We must not freak out. And I'm not wanting to present September as like, oh my God, it's sounding horrendous. No, this is about an increasing split between 3D and 5D, but to be honest, it's going beyond 5D now. There are people behaving in ways which is literally like, I am just total panic, meltdown. I don't understand what's going on in the world. Everything's falling apart. I'm not talking money here. I'm talking about open up the newspaper. All the people I used to believe in, you know, that they're sort of like they're paedophiles or they're this or they're that or this person's corrupt. I don't know who to trust anymore. If you're on the 5D wavelength, you know why this is all happening. It's happening because it's meant to happen. It's meant to be the spin wash that Metatron showed us. And the thing about the spin wash, and I've got one about to finish now downstairs in my kitchen, is it gets things clean. And then you hang them out, and hang your washing out in the garden and you dry it. You do in the UK anyway. Last time I said that, people were like, you can do that? Yeah, we can do that in the UK. We can do anything. I'm being silly. Hang out your own washing if you want to. If you want that in New Earth, create it. Okay. Yeah, you know, because I'm looking down at the cards on the bottom of the deck, storm warning. Funnily enough, next to, what is that? Yin Yang, next to daughter value. Look at that. The cards are just all backing it up. I hadn't even seen that they were sitting there on my desk because it was on the bottom of the pack. Storm warning. Balance yourself out. Reasoned, you know, balance out your mind in terms of come back to reasoned thinking. Daughter value. It's there if you want to go through it. Be very, very, very aware of what you are giving your energy to this month. And if you're giving your energy to people that are causing panic, don't listen. What Metatron is saying, let this unfold the way it's meant to unfold. You have much untapped energy within. This is the card for the Kundalini, but to be honest, it says untapped energy. So I just want to talk about untapped energy. Travel on. Tree of life. Nothing's going to shake the tree. The tree, i.e. life, life's not about to be felled. The tree is going to carry on flourishing, but it needs a good old prune. That's what's going on at the moment. Okay, let me wrap this up now. I don't know what the hell I'm going to call this video. Let's have a final card. Let's have a final card from the Metatron deck. Let's have a final swish of violet, lilac light. Let's link into our higher selves. There's that saying, isn't there, that, you know, if you could only look at people's souls and see the beauty of people's souls, what a different view of beauty we would have, you know? And it's the same that if we could see each other's higher selves, wouldn't that be amazing? So to be able to see other people's higher selves, or to feel the energy of it anyway, you've got to know your own first. Right, let's have a final card from Metatron for September. He's saying to me to say to you, is everybody okay? And what he means by that is he doesn't want to freak anybody out. He's not wanting to worry anybody. He's saying, I've got you. Keep calm and leave it to Metatron with the proviso and yourself. Keep calm. Right, final card. Metatron for September. The Akashic Records. What I'm feeling for that is that the page wants to be turned. And he's literally got, if you can see the card, his hand is actually on a page, he's turning a page. So this is very much about, we are about to close a chapter. We're about to turn a page. And the thing is, it's almost like he's saying, because Metatron's in charge of the Akashic Records, he's saying it's as though he's rereading your page, linked into, and wanting to say, the material world. We've been talking a lot about money here, but, you know, it can also apply to other areas of life as well. Material areas of life. He's been reviewing how you're doing. And it's like if there just needs to, okay, what he's showing me is, you know, when do you remember back at school and you used to do a piece of homework and the teacher would mark the page, wouldn't they? So you'd have like 20 questions and the teacher would mark the page. And then sometimes there would be one question where the teacher would put like a ring around it, okay? They'd put a ring around it and it would be sort of like either please come and see me after lesson to discuss, or please redo this question. And that's what's happening here with regard to money, okay? Any test that's coming up with regard to it, it's like, please go back and have another look. And what he means by that is, it is about learning to trust. It really is. Just spray the flame. Final message. Guidance, practical support for people linked into money. Love it is what he's saying. He's saying love it even if you're in a state of panic with it. So even if you've got like a big bill or, I don't know, there's a difficulty with money, he's saying it's human nature to then almost, not despise it, but, you know, hate it. You know, someone's like, it's like love the bill. And I know how that sounds, but I'm giving you what I'm being given from spirit, okay? I remember the first time I had a really high tax bill come in, and I was completely and utterly freaked out by it. And because I hadn't had to pay tax for a while. This was in the early days of this business that I'm doing now. And so I'd got away without paying tax because I wasn't earning enough money to have to pay tax. And then I went over the threshold and this big bill came in and I was like, oh my God, you know. And then somebody said to me, love that bill. It shows you've done well. It shows, it, you know, but do you see what I'm trying to get at? And that is the truth of it. So love the bills. Yeah, that's going to trigger the hell out of some people. I realise that, but I'm still going to say it. Love the bills. But equally, for those really struggling, it's not about going into victimhood, but it is also about, remember what I said about don't be too proud to ask for help. Don't be too proud to ask for help. Whether that's from a neighbour, whether it's from a parent, whether it's from, or whoever it is, okay? And also there is a duty of care, Metatron is saying, for those of us that are in a more abundant state, that aren't scrimping and saving to, you know, be able to put food on the table, to help out those that are. Doesn't necessarily mean you go out with a bowl to everybody in the street. It can mean maybe you do something, when I say symbolic, I do mean there's an action behind it. It could be linked into, it's when you do things with consciousness, it's when you do things with intent. So those of you that have got maybe a little bit extra money, it's like making a charitable donation, putting some food into a food bank, you know? But it's, because it's not about, we can't all look after everybody in the world. But it's like if everybody does their bit, then the scales start to eventually balance themselves out. Okay, I think that's the message. I might just pull one card from the Sacred Geometry deck, because I had them on my desk. Let's just see. I did say the dodecahedron earlier, but let's have a look. Okay, one's just fallen out. Oh, the octahedron now. Okay, we've got the octahedron. And that's with starry dreams. So the octahedron is linked to the heart chakra. Oh, thank you, Metatron. Yeah, this is a really important point, because I really believe that if you really love what you do, the abundance eventually comes. I have a cleaner starting next week. I've never had, well, I did have a cleaner in my 30s. So I've gone 20 years without any help in the house at all. And I run a really busy business. I've got 2 kids. I've got a mum who needs looking after. I've got a busy life. My house is not as I would like it to be, but I run myself ragged sometimes trying to do it all. Why? 1, because I haven't been asking for help. But anyway, this woman's starting next week. And do you know the first thing she said to me when she came into the house last week? not how filthy is your house. No, I'm joking. That's just my sense of humour. She said to me, she said, do you know, I love cleaning. She said, I love what I do. And as soon as she said that, I thought, you're the right lady for me. And I said to her, I said, I love that you love what you do. I said, because I love what I do as well. And I said something along those lines. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter what any of us do. It doesn't matter if you're cleaning a toilet or you're the CEO of a huge multinational company. If you're doing it because you love it, the octahedron is the heart, you love it, and you believe in it, starry dreams, you can't not fail. What comes in is that first card, the prison waif, self-sabotage and poverty consciousness. So I'm so looking forward to this lady starting next week who loves her job, loves going into people's homes. In fact, she seems to do most of the homes in this street. So anyway, that's just as an aside, but it's a good story, because I loved that she said, I love what I do. And as soon as she said that, I thought, and I bet you're good at it. And I bet you earn, I bet you have an abundant business, which she does. We're very lucky that she's fitted us in. She's got loads of clients in this area. And it's because she puts her heart and her soul into it. And this new currency of New Earth is going to have that energy in it, that I love what I do. I love it. I do love it. Much love, everybody. I hope that helped. I hope that message reaches who it's meant to reach. And I will come back in a few days and try and do what I thought I was going to do today, which is maybe a more general reading for September. But I don't know. Hey ho. Again, lots of ideas come to me for videos, and lots of people say to me, can you do a video on this? Can you do a video on that? Can you channel this person? And the truth is, I can do it if I want to do it. And if the energy behind me is like, yeah, I want to do that. If I don't want to do it and I'm doing it because I feel obligated, I've said, can you feel it? The whole thing just goes down. Everything is connected. Passion, drive, love, all add in to building up the resource. One resource of which is money. Money is not a dirty word. Got that Simply Red song coming right at the end. Money's too tight to mention. You see, money's too tight to mention would be this energy here, the prison waif. I got 2 money songs to end on, okay? Money's too tight to mention, Simply Red. If you want to do a bit of homework, go and watch that video. Great song, by the way. Mick Hucknall is a fantastic singer, fantastic guy. But the song is very much about, it's a struggle. And then I've also got ABBA, Money, Money, Money. I think that's more of a sort of, that feels a more upbeat one. Do you know, I don't know why. ABBA, for some reason, I can't get away from them. I mean, I love ABBA. I had a poster of ABBA on my wall when I was, 13, 14. They're fantastic. I think they're great. But when YouTube keeps recommending videos to you, well, I hadn't watched any ABBA videos for years. And all of a sudden, every night, ABBA videos are recommended. So I've been watching that, and it's really been helping to lift my vibe. So there we go. Much love, everyone. Take care of yourselves. Have an abundant September. And please remember, let us all remember, and I'm going to go around with this stuck to me, keep calm and leave it to Metatron and your higher self. Much love, everyone. Bye for now.